Strongholds are not the devil. They are ways of thinking. That may be a shock to you. Many of you think you're driven by the devil to do things, but the fact is it's not the devil making you do things. It's misunderstandings. Misunderstandings about your own nature and about the nature of God. That's what drives us to do things that are wrong. Now, to understand this concept well, you should read in context what Paul was talking about when he talked about casting down strongholds. He was not speaking about tearing the devil down from some place of high rank or authority. He was speaking about tearing down false ideas, false mindsets, which held his people, the people in his church, in bondage. He was speaking specifically about people who were in his church, who were coming against his own teachings and exalting themselves in the eyes of the people who were there in the church to preach, once again, the law, which Paul consistently spoke about in his letters, saying that do not get in bondage again to that law which you were under through Moses and through the ways of Moses and the teachings of the Pharisees, which came a lot later, of course. But the teachings of the Pharisees kept the people in bondage. The teachings of being circumcised, in particular, he spoke against the idea of being circumcised in the flesh and thinking that that justifies you in God's eyes. He spoke instead about being circumcised in the heart, and the justification that came from God was a free gift of eternal life. Being circumcised in the heart was about getting all that stuff out of the way, those old ways of thinking, and thinking instead the way that God designed you to think, which was that you were one with Him through what He has done, and not through any work of your own, but through faith in Jesus Christ. That is the truth. The strongholds are those teachings which take you away from that truth, which take you away from faith in Jesus and Jesus alone. Now, this is what Paul was talking about when he said casting down strongholds, tearing down everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. He was talking specifically about these men who in his churches were trying to reinstill the law while he was away. He was not there at the church at the time. He was writing a letter to his church telling them that they needed to allow those strongholds to be cast down, torn down by the true teachings which did not rely upon the laws of do's and don'ts, but instead upon faith in Jesus Christ. That's what a stronghold really is. It's not about the devil, but it's about the ways that the devil can use those ideas to manipulate you. It's the ideas that Paul is talking about pulling down, casting down those strongholds.